That's always what I do when I love a look. I'm like, hey there, how you doing? Alright, so let's get started. Now for today's look, I do have a look in mind. I have my little face chart. Like usual, I'm not really sure if I'm going to do exactly that, but I do have some guidelines. I've been doing a lot of talking in my past few videos, so today I'm going to try and keep it sweet and short. So I'm going to start. So first thing I'm going to do, I think I'm going to start working on my eyes, just because we're going to use a lot of like colorful eyeshadow, so we're probably going to have a lot of fallout on our cheeks. I'm going to use, like usual, my MAC Pro Longwear paint pot in the shade Painterly. I'm just going to take a little bit of that. I'm going to put this on my eyelid. I'm going to put this from the inner to outer corner, and I'm also going to bring that on my lower lash line. So for today, for our eyes, we're mainly going to be using the SFX cream color from NYX, and I'm also going to be using the Pure X Raw Beauty Kristi palette. I've been reaching for this palette so often. This palette, I feel like it's the best palette for someone that's starting makeup, just because like it's such a compact palette, but you have so many like primary colors, and you also have your nude and more neutral shades. This palette is just amazing. I'm really sad that this was a limited edition, because like it's becoming my favorite palette at the moment. I will have to say my Pat McGrath Mega palette is still like my favorite at the moment, but this one is coming very close. I think I'm going to start by doing the red on the lid. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. I know that I want to do a cream base before applying some eyeshadow on top, but I'm not really sure how it's going to work, because I want to use the NYX SFX cream color as a red base, and then I'm planning to top it off with some red eyeshadow. But I'm not really sure if it's going to be like too thick or too heavy. I think I'm going to use the NYX cream color, and then we'll see if it's too cakey. I can always remove it. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit of the red, like this amount. You really don't need a lot with these cream colors. And I'm going to pick it up with a small detailed brush. This is the Morphe M250-1 detailed brush. I'm going to put my... Why do I always do this to myself? Like today, I'm really planning to do a very crazy, colorful makeup look, and I'm wearing like one of my favorite sweaters. Why do I always do this to myself? I'm probably going to stain it, but I'm going to try and not be too messy today. So I'm just going to put this all over my lid in a very light layer, and I'm going to put this all over my mobile lid. And I'm also going to do a tiny little V on this outer corner, but I'm not going to take it too far. And I'm also creating more of a rounded shape with that red. I'm not creating a very winged out shape. I really want this to be super rounded. So now that I have the shape that I want, I'm directly going to... because I kind of like the glossy finish to this cream product. I don't know if I should set this down, just because I really like the shine of this product. I think I'm going to leave it like that for the time being, and if it creases too much, then I'll set it down with a powder. But if it stays kind of all right looking, I think I'm going to leave it like that, because I really like what texture this cream product is doing. It's kind of creating a very nice shine on the lid. And because I already have the red on my brush, I'm just going to prime my other eye really quickly, just so that I can do the red right now that I have it on the brush. So I have both my shapes on. I am seeing a little bit of creasing, but the creasing is actually happening on the lid. As long as it's not going like outside of the shape I drew, I'm going to leave everything like that, just because I can always like remove the creases by going over it. Next, I'm going to do a blue line, and for the blue line, I'm actually going to use also the NYX SFX cream colors. I'm going to mostly take white, a little bit of blue and a little bit of yellow. I want to create kind of a really pretty like turquoise shade, so a blue-green shade. So I'm going to do that really quickly. Maybe I don't understand color that much, but what's going on is that I want to do a really pretty turquoise kind of shade. I put some white, some blue, and then when I add the yellow, like a little bit of yellow, it turns into a gray shade. So I really don't understand why. So instead of getting a turquoise shade, I'm just going to mix a little bit of the blue with the yellow to get a bright blue shade. So I'm going to use that, and I'm just going to outline the red line. So I'm going to take this line from our, like under our inner corners, I'm going to go around the red shape, and I'm going to pull this color until the outer corner. And this is going to be quite easy because we already have the shape and we just have to follow it. I'm obsessed with this right now. Like, this is such a simple eye, but I love how like there's that glossy finish from the cream product. Like the primary colors together, like red and blue, it's so pretty. So next I'm going to start working on my complexion. And today, if you've seen my last video, it was the first time I did a very like natural glassy complexion, and I really liked the effect. And I feel like with this very glossy eye, I should probably do the same. So yes, I'm going to do a very natural, very lightweight kind of skin today. And to accomplish that, I'm going to be using my Touch in Soul Glassy Balm. This product is amazing. This primer will make you look like freaking glass. It will really make you look like glass. It's super shiny. It gives a very intense glass finish to the skin. So I'm just going to prime using that. I want to use my Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops. This is in the shade Blossom. I'm going to use that as a base for my foundation. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of that on my cheeks. And I'm just going to blend this in. I just want to give a very like natural look to my skin, a natural glow from within. I'm going to take what's left on the brush and I'm going to place that on my temples, my nose, cupid's bow, and my chin. For my concealer, I want to use something different because I've been using the same things over and over and over again. But there's a reason why I'm using things over and over and over again. It's because I really love them. So I think today it's not going to be the day where I try something different. I'm going to use my Rare Beauty concealer in the shade 130N. I'm just going to place this on the high points of my face. I'm going to be very light-handed with this. I really don't want to apply too much, but I'm going to be a little bit more generous around where I do have some redness. I'm going to be using my Kaleidos Precision Highlight Brush. This is just a like fluffy but a little bit condensed kind of brush, and I did enjoy using this to blend my concealer the other day, so I'm going to reuse that just to give a very natural coverage to the skin. And I'm going to take like what's left on the brush and bring this around my cheeks just to unify the skin just a little bit. And I always prefer a lightweight coverage to a full coverage because I just feel like it's more natural when you do see some of the skin texture going through. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with my complexion right now. Next, I think I'm going to do some bronzing, and you guessed it, I'm going to be using my ABH contour stick in the shade Fawn. I'm going to apply it like I did the other day, so I'm going to heat up the product on the back of the hand very generously. And then I'm going to take a dual fiber brush. I'm going to pick the product up with the brush, and I'm just going to be tapping very lightly on the perimeter of my skin just to add a little bit of warmth to the complexion. I really love this way of contouring the skin because it's better to apply less product and to build it. So here you really have the most control of the product. All right, and next, what do I want to do? Next, I think I'm going to put on my brows, my blush. I'll do my blush. I really wanted to do something very like red, but now that I see the eye look, I really like this eye look on its own. Yes, I'm going to go light-handed with the blush. Like I said, I really like the impact of the eyes on its own. So I think I'm not going to do something too crazy for my blush. So I'm going to take my Rare Beauty blush. This is in the shade Joy, and I really do love this blush. It really blends nicely on the skin. So I'm going to take that on the back of my hand, and it's kind of a really pretty like coral red shade, so I think it's going to go very well with this eye look. I'm going to take the same dual fiber brush. I'm going to pick up some of the product, and I'm just going to test it on the back of my hand. That looks pretty good, and I'm going to go on the cheeks. I'm going to do some very small tapping motions. I'm also going to put some of that on the temples. I'm going to be very careful around the eye area just because I don't really want to smudge the cream eyeshadow. Oh, this blush is so pretty, so pretty. I look a little bit sunburned, but I don't mind. For my highlight, I think I really want to stick with like the glossy skin look. So I'm going to take my Makeup by Mario. This is the Master Secret Glow highlighter in the shade Expensive. I'm going to be very honest with you. This is pretty much clear Vaseline. Like, it's very glossy. I would not recommend this on a everyday basis because your hair will get stuck on your cheeks. This is a very like thick Vaseline-y glossy type of highlight. For editorial pictures, this is actually really pretty, but on a everyday basis, I would not really recommend this. So I'm just going to pick that product up with my finger. I'm really going to warm up the product on my finger, and I'm going to start and do very light-handed tapping motions, because if you go too hard with this product, you will remove the product that's underneath, so your blush, your concealer. So you have to be very light-handed with this, but you'll see it gives a really pretty editorial type of gloss shine to the skin. It's really pretty. And it's very important to do tapping motions. If you do some wiping, you're definitely going to remove everything you've done underneath. I'm going to do my brows really quickly. So I'm going to use my Precisely My Brow pencil and the 24-hour brow setter from Benefit. I'm just going to fill my brows in really quickly. I'm going to make them lighter than usual, but fluffier than usual. So for my lips, I really want to do a bright red lip. So I'm going to be using for my liner the Beauty Vault Natty Nat liner, and I'm going to be using the Yves Rocher matte lipstick in the shade 156. So I'm just going to line my lips really quickly. So next, I just want to add a little bit more red on my lid just to remove some of these creases. All right, and now I'm not really sure if I want to do mascara, just because I really love how like popping this red eye is. Yes, so actually I'm going to leave everything like this. It's really fun with editorial makeup because like I was really planning on doing much more to my face, like maybe adding lashes, maybe adding a lot more blush, a lot more contouring. But what's fun with editorial makeup is that like when you do it, you have to know when to stop. And I love more simple looks because like, for example, the red and the blue, they're really complementary. So they really do pop, as well as the red lip and like the glassy skin. I feel like everything like this already has a lot of impact. Just because of how simple the shape is and the colors are. I don't want to add any other things just to blur the picture and make everything a little bit too much. So I think I'm going to leave everything like this. So that's pretty much that for today's video. Let me know in the comments below if you like when I do more simple looks and when I do editorial makeup looks. I have a lot of fun doing them. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for today's video. So I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to leave a like. You can also subscribe to my channel. I put up new videos every single Mondays, so subscribe so that you don't miss any of the makeup Mondays. And I do upload here and there a bonus video during the week, so subscribe so that you don't miss any of my content. And that's it. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.